It's such a beautiful, breathtaking sport. Similar to freediving, rock climbing is dependent on both a strong body and a strong mind. Most people compete against no one but themselves as they learn new techniques and their bodies adapt to ever-increasing challenges. Some climb just for that satisfaction, others to learn just how far they can possibly push their bodies, clinging to the slightest edge or surface with seemingly inhuman strength. Others find it to be the most amazing way to experience nature. But no matter the reasons that you find to climb, you can be sure it'll be a great recreational outlet that will build your core body strength quickly and without the monotony of a standard gym. Not only that, but you might just end up with a pair of amazing pecs. Really though, I can't help but notice basically every pro climber has pectorals like Zeus. And I'm definitely all for that, but luscious pecs are just a nice bonus. Here at Functional Fitness, we are all about helping people discover and become passionate about anything that will help keep them active, healthy, and functionally fit. So for the next couple of months, I'll be releasing videos showing my personal progression with climbing, as well as tips, tricks, and tutorials with local climbing experts. Basically everything you'll need to know to get into this sport as a beginner, but the later videos will help anyone, including the more advanced climbers out there. Today we're just going to cover the 3 most common types of rock climbing. So let's get to it. So of course people have been climbing for as long as they've had arms and legs, but the sport climbing we know today originated from the methods used by mountaineers to overcome rocky areas. Their methods involved hammering pitons, which are basically little bolts with a ring in them, into small cracks on the rock face, which would anchor them in case someone fell. In the 1970s, many climbers made the transition to cleaner methods of climbing. So rather than hammering in bolts where people wanted to go, climbers began placing nuts in cracks and crevices that would jam tighter and hold their weight in a fall. But they're also removable and didn't deface the rock. This method continues to be used today and is known as trad climbing, or traditional climbing, and it's considered to be one of the most pure methods of rock climbing. It's also one of the more advanced and more dangerous forms of rock climbing because you're the one making the route. You're in charge of your own safety, so it comes down to your understanding of yourself, your gear, and the rock. Speaking of gear, now we have cams which are safer than nuts, but even with these advancements, there's still more room for error. So all I'm saying is just make sure you're ready with the right gear and training before attempting this. So before you try any of that, you should be very experienced in sport climbing. This is the safest and most common form of modern recreational climbing. It uses self-anchoring expansion bolts along a predetermined route. And typically you're going to have the most skilled climber in the group lead the route, which means they're the first ones going up and have to actually attach the rope to each bolt using a quick draw. And it's a little scarier because if you fall when you're above the last quick draw, you actually fall twice as far as that distance because you're above where the rope's attached. And we'll get more into those terms and how to lead climb in an upcoming video, but don't worry too much about that yet because before you get there, you'll be top roping, which is once the lead climber reaches the top, they're able to get the rope through an anchor point. They'll come down removing those quick draws and anyone else can climb the route with it top roped. So it's much easier because the rope is always above you. You can have extra support if you need it. Sport climbing is just a great experience all the way around. So if you're ready to start, you'll want to check out mountainproject.com. It's a great site that gives you pictures, ratings, and reviews of local routes. So hit it up and feel free to add to it. And last but not least, for today we're going to talk about bouldering. Bouldering is a form of rock climbing that involves short, technical climbs done without a climbing harness, usually on boulders, surprise, smaller rock formations, and man-made rock walls. Hopefully all of them with padding underneath. Despite being on shorter, smaller walls, each route you climb at your level will present you with a challenge that will have you struggling to make it to the top. Whether it's hanging upside down, completing that awkwardly angled dyno, or clinging onto surfaces that you're pretty sure barely exist. Tackling bouldering problems is a quick way to level up your climbing ability all year. Also, it's ridiculously fun. Climbs are either completed or failed fairly quickly, so it's really fun to go with a friend around your skill level and just push each other, sometimes doing things you wouldn't have thought of just because the other person did it. Anyways, it's about time to wrap up this video. More on bouldering training methods and games coming soon, and we will cover all about rock climbing and bouldering ratings, such as the Yosemite Decimal System, the V scale for bouldering, all that good stuff next time. And in the meantime, I'm also interviewing every local climber I can on training tips, advice, and just what makes them passionate about climbing. So if you want to be a part of that, please reach out to me. And I know this is still a really small channel, but I am super passionate about helping people improve the quality of their lives by improving their bodies and minds. So if you could comment, like, and subscribe, that would be amazing. But either way, have a great day and keep climbing. You just gotta scream louder. Scream like Daniel Woods and you got it.